Okay, for my video interview, I interviewed an employee of mine by the name of W. That's what we'll call him for the purposes of his security. W was born in 1980 in Addis Ababa, which is in Ethiopia, and he lived there until 1995 when he immigrated with his family to West Covina, California. W's parents were considered upper class in Ethiopian society. His father was a pilot, and his mother was a nurse. And during my interview, I found that he was informed on numerous occasions because of their upper class standing. It was important that he not go out into the countryside. They lived in the capital city, and he had bodyguards, butlers, maids, things like that. But because of their status as members of the national ruling party, it was important that he not leave the city. A lot of crime, he said, a lot of kidnappings and extortion. That was the norm in Ethiopia at the time, and in order to avoid all of that, his parents didn't allow them out. He said growing up in Ethiopia was similar to growing up in any major city. He went to school in an Orthodox Christian school. He was raised with a Ethiopian Orthodox Christian background, which focused on studying hard, religious studies, mathematics, English as a second language or as a primary language, and history. In 1995, he was faced with the choice, and that was to either join the army, or let me back up. In 1994, he was given a choice to join the army after he finished his primary school or secondary school, or to go to a national university in the same city. His father was a pilot, again, his mother was a nurse, and they applied for immigration status, and in 1995 they moved to West Covina, California. And when he got here, he was integrated into school as a junior, did some work with the African American unity groups on the campus, and graduated as the class of 1996. He came to me this year. He had worked with the company that I worked for about 6 years as a security guard in a number of different areas around Los Angeles and San Francisco, Monterey area, where he went to Cal State East Bay, graduating in the year 2011. So I asked him some simple questions based on the survey questions that we had used. What was it like? My first question to him was, what was it like living in Ethiopia as a child? And he said it was a lot of fun. We had a really good time. It was very family oriented. He was always around his grandparents, his cousins, his aunts, uncles, and his family. They went to church a lot, but they always focused on family events. The difference in Ethiopia as it was here, or here in America, is that it's so spread out. His sister lives in Ohio. His brother lives in Las Vegas. His family lives in West Covina, but for a long time he was living in Monterey. So it wasn't one of those things where they could get together on a weekly basis like they did back then. He believes assimilating was not hard because he spoke decent English. They lived in a very integrated neighborhood. He says they witnessed some racial issues at school, but it wasn't anything more than name calling and some teasing. He says the hardest part for assimilation is the fact that his grandparents still do not speak English well, so they don't drive that much. They try to hold on to the older Ethiopian ways of living, a lot of family and stuff like that, reliance on family members to take them wherever they need to go. His family structure changed when he came here. Again, mostly because there's a lot of distance, but there also is not a religious core or core traditions like there was in Ethiopia. When he lived in the country, Ethiopia was again very religious. So a lot of his social structure was based around the church. They went to church 2 or 3 days a week. Everybody went. It was a very large church community. Here in America, it's not so much. They go occasionally. He goes occasionally, but he's not really all that involved in his religious structure. And although he would like to continue, it's not as easy because they work on Sundays and things like that. Talking with W a little bit more into, and I'm looking at some of my notes here. The business he chose to get into security, not because he likes security, but because he likes the management aspect of it. He received his degree in accounting, and because he's always been really good with numbers and he likes mathematics. But he also likes business management, and that was his main focus. His intent is in the future is to return to Ethiopia and bring some of the skills that he has gotten here in the United States back to his homeland, in hopes of either getting involved at the national level or starting a business. Well, that's my interview with W, and I hope you enjoyed this. Thanks very much.